Welcome, one and all. It's my birthday week. Where are we at this week? It's the 26th week of 2020. It has been a wild year for all of us, to say the least. How many of you get the day off for your birthday? You know, it used to be a paid holiday for us at my old company. I know they don't do it there anymore. I'm not sure I'd take off for my birthday anymore anyway. It seems every day we're off work, we just get farther behind, doesn't it? Who am I kidding? Of course I'd take off for my birthday. So week 26, the last full week of the second quarter. I hope everyone's on track with their plans and goals. This week marks the halfway mark for our year. Well, kind of. This year we have 53 weeks in the year. There's you something to go look up, a little self-education. You may find it pretty interesting if you go back far enough. This week I don't really have anything booked to discuss, so I thought I'd get caught up on a few questions that we've received. First up, and I like this one, but I'm not sure why it was asked, was, I see that you're all over the job boards, so I guess you're a recruiter? ? And then there's a follow-up question right behind it that said, and everything says national? ? Well, I do a lot in the recruiting arena. I am a member of 7 Facebook recruiter groups and actually admin one of my own. I'm a member of 61 job boards across the nation. I am a mentor and coach for a few of them and kind of help monitor several. As you may remember, I work with a large sourcing company with sites in several states and a distribution training center where we help educate to the opportunities within our industry. So yes, it is quite possible you'll run across my name or the WAOC branding through different job boards by means of mentoring groups, webinars, and being associated with some skilled labor postings. I kind of help put together a lot of training programs and work closely with several different organizations. I guess you could say trying to put people to work and helping them find a career that they can commit to. You know, I genuinely love what I get to do, whether it's paid or on a volunteer basis. I hope that helps with why you may see my name under a few different categories. So what about ops now? I thought this was a good one. I'm in sanitation. I have worked for XX company for 26 months. I have asked my supervisor, why do we have to do dock plates on Mondays, and then wiping down customer pickup racks on Tuesdays, and then sweep under pallets on aisles A-2 to D-7 or E-2 to H-7 every other day? Why is everything just so and so? She's nice, but just says that's the law. Is it really a law? Well, maybe not a law, but probably does have a little regulatory weight behind it. She is probably working off of a master sanitation schedule. She'll have daily task, weekly task, monthly task, quarterly task, and then some annual cleaning tasks listed on it. She's responsible for documenting that the task is performed as listed, and those files have to be kept. Now, I'm not sure what industry you're working with, but a few of the agencies that will ask for that kind of documentation could be a city inspector, maybe a fire marshal, or the USDA or FDA if you're dealing with food or pharmaceuticals. Even OSHA could be interested in our sanitation practices. Oh, and our company may hire a third-party auditing firm to follow up on us, making sure we're doing everything we say we are. Like you've heard me say so many times, if we have a written procedure or process, something like a master sanitation schedule, it is so important that we adhere to it and follow our own guidelines. That's probably what she means about the law. He also asked about scrubbers and are they hard to learn to drive. He stated that he is not allowed to operate it. They're not hard to operate. They are a little tricky. sometimes it's all about coordinating your speed, the release of cleaning solutions, and pressure of the scrubbers and squeegee on the surface. Have you ever seen that little line of water being left behind a scrubber as it's making a turn or running down the center of an aisle? That's one of the things you don't want to do. Oh, and most importantly, never back up with your brushes and squeegee down. You're going to tear it up, and those things are expensive. I know from personal experience. You know, I see a lot of supervisors that kind of like, or they appear to enjoy driving the scrubber around. It gets them off the phone, away from all the hour-by-hour problems, and gives them a few thinking moments. Probably most importantly, though, is the fact that when done improperly, one can make a real mess with the floors. We can actually make things dirtier if we don't do it right. And then there's the expense of fixing anything that gets torn up. With all that being said, though, there is a way to become the scrubber operator, or at least the backup to your supervisor. YouTube has thousands of videos on operating a scrubber. I'm positive you'll be able to find your make and model on there. Watch them all. If we start talking shop with our supervisor, asking if you've ever noticed this or that about our scrubber, and dropping some keywords like clean tank, recovery tank, solution module, and pressure settings for brushes and squeegee bars, I'm certain we'll get their attention. Remember, our supervisors never get to talk about themselves. They never get to let us know about their talents. They'll love talking to us about something they like doing. You'll get your shot on the scrubber. Okay, here's another great one right here. The old "that's not my job" line. So a pallet runner at a medium-sized distribution center lost his job, refusing to paint a few bollard poles. If you're a warehouseman, shoot, I think the same holds true in any industry. It is our job to do whatever is asked for us by our management team, as long as it's legal, safe, and we have been told and shown how to perform the task. Now, that's certainly not to say that we can't complain or go talk to someone else after we've completed the task, but it is our job to do our job. We're getting paid to do as asked, and usually not to just do one thing. So anyway, what happened was, it was a slow few weeks. The company was trying to keep everyone working and busy. So one night they finished up their orders in about 4 hours, and the supervisor found enough sweeping and cleaning things to keep 3 or 4 people busy for a few hours. He gave a can of yellow paint and 2 brushes to 2 guys and said they could go out in the yard and paint some, bollard post. It'd give them a couple more hours over the next few nights, and it'd help out the inbound drivers. Well, this gentleman said no, that he wasn't a painter. The supervisor explained he was just trying to keep their hours up so no one would have to be laid off. The employee wasn't hearing it and walked off his job. The supervisor had to list it as job abandonment, and now he didn't have to be concerned with finding something to do for that set of hours. You know, to kind of go along with that, just last week at one of my facilities, a forklift driver did the same thing. She was asked to go help unload some containers and work with the receivers since all the pallet work was caught up, and she said no, got mad, and walked out. Our job is to do what needs to be done. Moving freight is an art form. Everything has to feed the next step, and all those tasks have to get done and be completed. It's our jobs. And in this day and time, I think we need to all work together and do what we can to keep our positions. Let's see, where's another good one? Here's one I hear from recruiters all the time. I mentioned that word commit or commitment a little bit ago. I think this came from a lead or a trainer. It might have been a supervisor. Anyway, I was asked, what is up with the new hires these days? HR hires someone and they don't show up on their first day of work. Why do they bother filling out all the paperwork? Well, I've struggled with this one myself. Even when scheduling interviews, I've been told most recruiters double book because only about 50% are going to show up. I just did a webinar for a couple of job boards on this very subject. If you'd like to register for it, shoot an email to host@warehouseandoperationsasacareer.com and I'll be sure to send you a link for it. I know sometimes things will come up, and I have to think our recruiters and supervisors understand that. And I know as an applicant, new hire, we occasionally may not do what's right. But I have to think as a whole we want to. In my humble opinion, I'm wondering if we're a little anxious maybe about our new job. Was everything explained to us, and did we ask questions if we didn't understand something? Were we not comfortable saying, hey, you know what, I don't think this position is going to work for me? And if we've gone home and then realized that our new job just isn't going to work for my family, the hours or the shift or maybe even the pay, it's just not going to work for us, why don't we give our new boss a call? It's hard, but we don't ever want to burn any bridges. And to be honest, we'll feel better and less anxious if we do the right thing. How many times have you heard us talk about that communication word here at WAOC? That's really what everything we've talked about today is, right? Communication. Well, I hope you can take something from these questions today, and please join in and share any thoughts or experiences with our group. I'd love to get an email from you, or maybe you could pose a question or statement to our Facebook or Twitter feeds using that little @ WHSEANDOPS, or hitting us up in the Warehouse Equipment Operators Community Group on Facebook as well. Until next week, be safe, and let's all communicate our thoughts like we know we should.